Good morning, everybody. So it's either Thursday or Friday morning, and we're starting a new experience together, which I think we're all really excited to do. The first thing I want to mention is that I graded all of your Peel notebooks, and hopefully you saw your scores. They were in the notebook for both. I'm really proud of the class. Incredible work, especially on distance learning. I've been raving about you guys ever since sort of viewing the unit and looking at your tests. So congrats. Today I will be checking this. I'll be checking your slideshows, which everybody has their own. So I'm going to be looking. Here's a slideshow, and the way I see is I'll be checking the comments. So I'll be scanning and reading what you wrote and just making sure that about 15 are done to show that you looked through this really powerful slideshow and that you have some takeaways, some annotations, but we're on distance learning. So I'm calling it just takeaways, things that struck you about anything regarding this slideshow. So I'll be checking that. You'll see your score or your complete, not complete in Veracross today. If it's not complete, you will get a message from me. So please make sure that that is complete. And if there was a problem, you need to email me. Okay, that's how we work. Don't go silent on me. So going back in the classroom, a lot of you saw this. You have this. No, you have. I'll just go to a different class. You have something that looks like this. So it had instructions and it has the notes that we're going to do after we read the play each time. It has the play. Normally I'd be giving you a paper copy and it makes it a whole lot easier, but we can't do that because we're on distance learning. So we're going to do the play on Google Meet and we're going to do the play via this PDF version of the play, which is great that we've got one. So here's where the play starts. You can see the characters. You can see this sort of narrative of what the set looks like. You'll see a very famous actress played Anne in, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. This was brought back to Broadway in New York City, and Natalie Portman played Anne. You'll see then we start with Act 1, Scene 1. Now, if you're looking here, you'll notice that there's all this italics, right? The stage directions. I'm going to read all of those. And the way we do this is I'll kind of direct you a little bit, but I'm also going to read what's in the brackets or parentheses. So for instance, Act 1, Scene 1, Meep says, no, it wasn't suffering. You can't say we suffered. And then I'm going to actually read. As she speaks, she straightens a chair, which is overturned. And then whoever plays Mr. Franck will then come in. I know what you went through, you and Mr. Crawler. I'll remember it as long as I live. And then I'll say, he gives one last look around. And then Mr. Franck, come Meep. So in that way, it keeps it moving. It also helps to kind of know what's going on because we're not going to do what we normally do, which is we normally dress up and we do the whole scene. And we do the same thing with the characters, with the casting, but we actually do it in the classroom. So we won't be doing that this year, which is sad, but I decided let's just try to still do the play on distance learning. So the cast list is up. You'll notice that some of the days say async. So these are days when you're going to be reading these scenes silently because we're not meeting on video. Those are our afternoon sessions. So depending on the class, there's different ones that are async, depending on when we're meeting and etc. So this class, this is B1, async are happening here, and then otherwise we're doing the play here. The dates when we're doing the play is up here, so we're starting on Wednesday because King's Day is Monday. The next time I see these kids after the prep day will be Wednesday, and we're going to go. So that's kind of the situation with that. So I wanted to show you that. This is Act 1, and then this is Act 2. If you have any questions about that, let me know. When we finish the play, each reading of the play, not the whole play. What you're going to do is this sheet. So this worksheet is going to become very helpful to you when you go to write what is the summative task for this play reading, which is to write your own missing scene for the play. You're going to notice, and it says it up here, that this play is Pulitzer Prize winning, really highly acclaimed play, yet it was written for an American audience. It was written for a post-World War II, very celebratory American audience. And so they changed some things. They took her diary and they stayed pretty close to it, yet a 3-hour play is much, much shorter than that huge 400-page diary. So they changed things. They also changed characters. For example, Mrs. Von Don, Mrs. Van Pels, but in the play it's Von Don. I think she's totally different. So you decide what you think. But things were taken out, things were changed because it was an adaptation for the stage. So after we read the play, each time I'd like you to fill in 2 boxes of 2 things that you noticed were missing or were changed. So for example, up here, one of the example that you'll notice is that Kitty's never mentioned. They have eliminated Kitty from the play, which seems crazy. I mean, it seems so important. Yet possibly there's a reason why they eliminated her from the play, or that invisible character that Anne writes to. And then, and this is the part that would lead to the summative eventually, might this be a good thing to write your missing scene around? So you're going to write a missing scene. Let me show you what it's going to look like. No, 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 yes. So this is what your missing scene is going to look like. You're going to have the act, the page number where this would fit in, and then you're going to write a missing scene. The font and everything is supposed to look just like the play, as if the pages had fallen out, right? Very dramatic. And so, like, for instance, Kleinman and Kugler, Victor Kugler, they're eliminated from the play. They just don't even show up at all. So this is a scene in which this person has brought some of these characters back and written a scene for these characters, and also has found through research another character that was a friend or something. I can't remember what this scene is, but they have another character that they've added in here, which is also really fun to do. If you know a bunch about the Frank family, there are other stories that aren't even in the diary, and it's kind of fun to actually write a character in that the Franks knew but aren't in the diary, and maybe this could have happened. So when we get there, I'll explain more about the scene. But the scenes will be done, and then we're going to read them, and we're actually going to perform the favorite. Okay, we'll do it on video. So one of your scenes is going to be performed as the favorite. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, how are we going to do this, Mrs. Hancock? What are you talking about? Meet, Google Meet, because we haven't done that yet. So we're going to meet on Google Meet. Actually, I think this one is a little better. Oh yeah. So this is all the casting that I sent you on Friday. So Tuesday, so that you could kind of see the casting for all the classes, because some kids were sort of curious. So prior to synchronous session, so when we meet on the video meet, you should have your simple but clever costume on. So if you're in the scene that we are performing, I would like something on your head, something on your upper body so that we can see it on a video. Maybe a prop, if that might be fun for you to use in the scene. And the play's script should be open to the scene we're doing that day. So if we're doing Act 1, Scene 1, it's got to be up and open. So unfortunately, you can't print it out. I mean, you can. That's optional. If you have a printer, I really recommend printing it out. Otherwise, you're going to have 2 screens going. You're going to be on the Google Meet, and then we're going to move into the play, and everybody's going to be reading the play from their screens. So that's just how it's going to work. For Google Meet, it came on the calendar. Please make sure you have grid views so we can see everybody there. If you're in the scene, please unmute your microphone until the scene is finished. So don't mute even if you're not in the scene anymore. Please keep your microphone on. If you're not in the scene, you can keep your microphone on mute. Mrs. Hancock will read all the state. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay? And so here are the characters. So when I'm talking about like a little costume, maybe you have a little hat, or maybe you have a scarf or a barrette. The front girls often wore these like little barrettes with this sort of side part. Maybe you want to put on a tie. I don't know, just something. Glasses. Margot wears glasses. They're not in the scene, but Mr. Franck actually wears glasses too. So maybe you want to do that. Just anything to make it more fun for you and for us. Some of you have multiple, like on one day, you might have, actually, I don't think you guys do. I'm not sure. You might have two parts, but but you have to be ready for both. So just have something simple next to you. So for instance, Act 1, Scene 2, today, if you were Emily, you would be preparing this scene, looking at your lines. It doesn't mean memorize. It just means prepare with a character. You'd be preparing your lines, okay? And then you'd also, when you finish that, you could also prepare your lines for Act 2, Scene 2. Emily's playing Anne in that scene, and she's playing Mrs. Von Don here. So those are two very different characters. And so you want to just prepare both and make sure you feel good about the lines and how you would read the lines. Okay? I think that would be, that's what I'd like you to do today. So if you have any questions, can you please let me know? All right? And I'm happy to answer. Either on the calendar, you can communicate while our class is on, or you can communicate just by sending me an email if I'm not there. I just want to see if there's anything else I wanted to tell you. No. This is here, right? We talked about that. Here's the other class. Okay. And then, right, here's a good picture of like a costume. So, I don't know. Is there anything here that maybe, oh, look, a little mustache? Anything here that you might want to try would be great, just to make it feel like you are in the scene, okay? And here's some more costumes. Let's see. Okay, Peter, Anne. And then the other place that you might want to look is the video link I sent you. There could be something there. There's Mrs. Von Don and Anne. There could be something there that might help you. That video link of if Anne had a video camera instead of a diary, great costumes in there, and that might be really helpful. Okay, guys, good luck, and next time I see you, we are doing the play. So I hope that you're ready.